What's up? What's up, E?
What up, man?
How you doing, bro?
We're going back to the original days here.
I know, right? Just me and you. I don't know where Anthony's at. He said he was coming, didn't he? In the chat, didn't he say he was coming? Whatever. He might not have.
If he shows up in the backstage or whatever, just kick him out.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. He can't show up tonight, man. It's just a 2-man crew tonight, so we're just booting him out. But welcome to the Hoof Podcast. This is the Hoof Live. I am your host, Sterling, and my guy Eric over there. Anthony just popped in, so we're definitely going to give him crap for being late tonight. Yeah. Anthony is probably going to say something about
taking a dad nap.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what he's going to go with. So as a new dad, that's always the excuse. Oh, it's the baby. It's
I was asleep until 20 minutes ago. So.
Wow. Must be nice, my man. Must be nice. Fatherhood treating you well, bro.
Of course, yes.
That's awesome.
It's been great. I got back to work this week, though. So yesterday and today were a little bit more tired than the days when I could nap at odd hours. So yeah, feeling it a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, anyways, man, it's good to see you guys. Good to do this, right? It's the off season, man. So content. Listen, it's slim. Content is slim nowadays. But we got
still lots to talk about.
Yeah. We still got some stuff for you guys tonight. So pay our dues and our respects to what we got going on. You guys know, for those of you who watch the show, for those of you who don't, this is the Cover One Network, and you are watching or listening to the Hoof Live. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to here on YouTube, or if you want to find us on major social media platforms such as iTunes, etc., you can find our podcast, this show, and we drop one on every Friday. All you gotta do is look up Cover One and then the Hoof, and then you are in. That's what's up. That's what's up. So listen, we got it's the end of February, all right, and we got free agency coming up in the middle of March. Here at Cover One, we got some pretty exciting things that we're going to be doing for you guys. And then, obviously the draft is what we're all kind of waiting for. But we still got some stuff to talk about, man. You guys ready to do this?
Let's go, baby.
Here we go. Okay,
so we got to say, our what's ups, man. We got Joseph in the house. What's good, my G? He says, let's go. He also says, where is everyone listening from tonight? I'm in Finger Lakes. I don't know where the Finger Lakes are. Where's that?
Come on.
Oh, man.
It's New York State, man. You don't know the Finger
fishing?
Lakes?
Like, what are you doing there this time of year?
I don't live in New York.
Finger Lakes are beautiful. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful region. Just, it's all the lakes that look like fingers. That's why they call them the Finger Lakes. Kathy's family is from Ithaca, which is right on one of the Finger Lakes, Cayuga. So it's beautiful, beautiful place to be. All the spots down there, Watkins Glen. I mean, beautiful hiking, beautiful fishing.
Wine
Finger Lakes are what I miss most about New York State, hands down. So
in the summertime, though.
Yes.
I've never actually been there too much in the winter, so I'm wondering what Joseph's is doing. Must be ice fishing. But in the summer, though, you rent a boat, you go out on the lake. Oh man, it's best place ever.
Yes, beautiful.
Quiet, not too crowded because there's so many lakes. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't know what the Finger Lakes are.
Look at a map of New York State. You'll see it.
All right, deal. We got Kevin in here. He says, hey, what's going on, man? You got we Packers fans too? What we doing there, bro? Oh, my guy Randy. He says, I'm here to fill in if needed, man. We appreciate you, Randy. Randy's been all over the place, man. That dude, how many mock drafts have you done, Randy? How many mock drafts have you done? That man is a mock draft king. I'm sorry. If he hasn't added you on a mock draft, you are not elite, okay? And my girl, Kathy, she's telling me the best one there. Well, I definitely need to go now. Say no more. And my guy, Lone, man, for Connecticut here. Grew up in Western New York, though, man. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in. As y'all know where I'm from. I'm from the dirty. right? Randy even says that, the dirty South. That's where I'm from. Y'all know I hail from Tennessee. So it's all good, bro. It's all good. But anyway, man, we got some. Shall we jump into this now? For those of you who are just now watching the show, we have topics that I throw out there. These guys don't get to see. We just gotta chop it up. That's just kind of what we do. Because we like that raw feel. You know what I'm saying? That honesty feel. And I don't know what's going on with your lighting, Anthony, because you are as black as me right now. Yeah, you're back.
There we go. I don't know.
All right, here we go.
Angle.
Here we go. Okay, so the first question. What would the outcome of the Super Bowl have been? Would have been different if the Bills played the Bucs in the Super Bowl. Now, it's been a few weeks, right? Since we've seen, since the Super Bowl took place. And, we all know that Kansas City handled us. They beat the hell out of us, right? But there's been some chat on Twitter talking about, and even in the national media saying that if the Bills were to play in the Super Bowl, it would have been a lot more competitive. And I don't think it would. I don't know. It's back and forth. Part of me wants to say, hell yeah, like the Bills would have better fight. And then part of me is like, well, we didn't take care of the Chiefs. We got smoked out. So if you can't beat the Chiefs, how are you going to beat the Bucs? So what are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah. Well, we didn't earn the chance to play the Bucs. That's the problem right there. We didn't get the chance to prove that we could do better than Kansas City did because we lost to Kansas City and they beat our butts. But honestly, I think we would have put up a better game against Tampa Bay just because our defense is more intact overall and better at, doing the things that we could do, and stopping them from scoring points was not their biggest problem. I mean, that would help, and I think our defense would have done better. The biggest reason that Kansas City lost was their offensive line. And we know that Josh Allen's one of the most mobile quarterbacks there is, but Pat Mahomes isn't too bad himself. But when he's got missing two of his offensive starting linemen, I mean, that's like asking the Bills, could the Bills have won that game? Absolutely, I think so. Could the Bills have won that game without Deion Dawkins and without Darrell Williams? Now I'm worried because, I don't know who we're going to beat without those two guys, because who are you putting in next to them, right? At least with this roster that we had. You're putting somebody at guard or at tackle who doesn't know how to play tackle, period. So, in that, if it was the same scenario, if our team played the Bucs, could we win? Yes. If it was the same scenario without two of our star offensive linemen, they would have eaten our offensive line up too.
Yeah, it's all hearsay on my end, but the Bucs showed up and they played a flawless game, and they were executing across the board. They're a much more experienced team than the Bills. The Bills are a really young team still. Like they got some veterans, but the core players I feel like are still younger, and that includes Josh Allen. Brady's been there. I feel like Josh would have had a few touchdowns, right? He's hard to stop, but it still wouldn't have been pretty, and we'd be complaining about it all summer. Another loss to Brady, that'd be, oh man, that would hurt. So I'm glad that the cards fell the way they fell, and then I hope next year we can redeem ourselves and get that trophy.
No, it's
not
true.
Far-fetched.
You know what would have been? Taking an L to Brady would not have been.
Oh,
but the fact that he knows our cover two defense very well. There's not many defenses that he doesn't know, but he got a view of our defense and our team. He knew. He knew what the Bills were going to throw at him if they were to play him. So I don't know. I thought the matchup probably would have been a little bit better for the Bills than it was with the Chiefs, honestly. But again, that pass rush that they employed during the Super Bowl was straight nasty. It was nasty. And that really won the game. Tom Brady is fantastic in his own right, and he's a GOAT for a reason. But the pass rush really took over the game, and they had no answer for that. You have Patrick Mahomes running around for his life. But the tail of the offensive line for the Chiefs has kind of been there all, during the whole season. Like, their offensive line has been an issue and a problem. But when you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league or a generational talent, they can kind of mask some of those flaws, and they did that. But man, hey, in the NFL and in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, you got to pay your bills, and you're deficiencies during the season come up in the playoffs, and because you're dealing with the best coaches, right? So I would love to think that the Bills would have put up a better fight. I'm just not sure it would have happened, but it's still interesting to think, right? But you're right. I would have had a heart attack if the Bills would have lost to the Bucs in the Super Bowl. So
God, yeah. I mean, I already talked about that too. I did not want to play the Bucs in the Super Bowl at all, just because losing to Brady would have been the absolute worst.
Not worth the risk.
But I think we could have put up a better match again because we were healthier at that point. Our offensive line was healthier. Our guys were clicking, but we don't get a chance to show that because we didn't get past Kansas City. It sucks.
Now, you think Kansas City is the team to beat going into the season this year? I know it's way early in the off.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I mean, a lot of their players are coming back.
Tampa Bay is still the team to beat.
Yes, right? I mean, you win the Super Bowl, you're the team to beat. But
Tampa will be better next season. I agree.
But AFC, it has to be Kansas City. Who else is there? It's Kansas City and Buffalo. That's it. I mean, look at the Steelers. The Steelers, I don't know if this is one of our topics, Sterling, so I'm sorry if I'm stomping on you a little bit, but if they're bringing back Ben Roethlisberger after he killed them in the second half of the season. I mean, the guy can't throw the ball anymore.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing him back?
Because you don't have another option.
So it's really this. I mean, I'd go with a rookie at that point. You're better off with somebody who can actually throw the ball.
I've seen some bad. You risk the Nate Peterman thing,
or trade.
I wouldn't risk
for somebody. Sam Darnold. Go get Sam Darnold.
Well, the Steelers.
Easier said than done.
So they came out and said it's just been whispers, rumors that they want Big Ben back.
Yeah. Today there was a report.
Yeah,
that he was back.
So I don't understand why you want him back. I mean, I think if that's the case, I would probably say you're going to need to put some more things around him, offensive line wise. You're going to need some help on offensive line. And Big Ben, I mean, people kind of been destroying him lately. About how he approaches the game as far as his mental preparation and film study. People are saying Colin Cowherd is one of them, but it hasn't been a secret. This is no secret, but people are really it's kind of showing up later in the season, because they have that vanilla offense that we talked about. That offense is pretty vanilla, and teams are being able to key on those things to kind of shut them out. So, hey, please, Big Ben, come back to the Steelers. It just makes it easier for us. But I think the underrated team to look at here, and we didn't even mention this, but it's the Indianapolis Colts with Carson Wentz. Now, Frank Reich is a quarterback. Not the quarterback. Wentz is a quarterback, but Frank Reich is the head coach. But Wentz had his best years under him. So I think with a running game, I mean, this will be the most talent that Wentz has had around him, I believe. Going into Indianapolis, you got Michael Pittman, which he didn't want to give his number up, and I don't blame him on that. Once you're not Brady, you're not one of the top quarterbacks, bro, like that. You can't be coming here trying to get your number, so you're gonna have to switch that up. Michael Pittman was like, "Nah, player, I'm number 11. You're gonna have to switch it up, dude." So I guess he didn't want the bad juju from the Eagles. That's probably why he kept the number. But I would probably say that's probably the next team to be on the lookout for. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I think the Colts they're talented all across the board. It's just we saw what they were with Phillip Rivers, and let's face the facts here. The Bills probably should have lost to them in the playoffs, right? They came in and made the Bills look bad. But, squeaked out of there, and I don't know. Rivers is so knowledgeable in the game. It's hard for me to imagine Wentz showing up day one and being as an efficient quarterback as Phillip Rivers was for them. Obviously, they're still going to be run first. But, I mean, we know this. Carson Wentz is a freak athlete. He's so talented. I mean, a couple of his years, like maybe 2 years ago, his best season, I mean, he is slinging the ball all over the place, making plays for his team. He's got to get over the injury thing. And hopefully his confidence isn't shaken. I think a fresh start for him is going to be good. But, he's shown that his confidence can be shaken. And frankly, I mean, there's concerns there, I feel like. You lose your confidence, it's hard to get it back in the NFL. It's too hard. It's too competitive. So it's going to be a fun storyline.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm rooting for the guy. I think he can do I think he's going to be great. I think, coaching matters. We talk about that a lot of times. In Philly, their coaching staff was gutted pretty much before the season. They had a lot of people moving to go on John DeFilippo. I mean, this has been a transition for a few years. And Howie Roseman, what he's been doing with the roster just hasn't been good. But, it is what it is. Hey, Mahomes had a baby. Y'all hear that?
Did he? No, I didn't hear
that.
Yeah.
Little baby Sterling.
Yeah, I was like, y'all already know, like Brittany, whatever her name is. Y'all know who she naming the baby after. So Pat don't know that. But,
that's my daddy himself.
Baby came out with a beard. Baby came out with a beard.
It's Sterling Jr. So, but we don't want to say Junior around Pat. We want to keep that on the low. I'm, gonna kidnap her, my own child. She's gonna be a Bills fan. She's gonna hate Kansas City, but it's okay because we know who her real daddy is. So I just want to put that out there first. You heard it here on the Hoof Live, and it is what it is. Cam Newton to Pittsburgh? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, they got because they got to get rid of Big Ben, but that would be an intriguing
another guy who can't throw.
Right? Yeah. Hold on, though, because did you guys see Cam Newton's interview on I Am Athlete? You should watch it. It's pretty dang good, man. Cam Newton's a real one, dude. It's cool. Oh, yeah. So I like Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Like I want to see him
an honorable
succeed.
Dude. Yeah.
I want to see him succeed, right?
No,
but
not in a division. I mean, go to the NFC and succeed. Go to Chicago and succeed. That's fine.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Okay, so now that we got my announcement of my baby. Let's do that. Okay, so Anthony, you're gonna have to help me out on this one. So JJ Watt update. Look, man.
Oh boy.
What the hell is a mitochondria? Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. I was like, Anthony, like, what the hell is this dude talking about? How much time do you have on your hands?
Come on now.
Shit like this, bro.
Cell biology from 8th grade, right? This is like basic cell biology, 8th grade. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Do either of you know why they call mitochondria the powerhouse of the cell?
Man,
what does it produce?
Where your energy comes from, right?
Yeah, right. It produces energy in the form of ATP. It does all the biochemistry, basically. That's why they call the mitochondria the powerhouse of the cell. Now, what does that mean in terms of JJ Watt signing?
Yeah,
I have no freaking idea, but I love it.
Okay. So let's do this, y'all. I mean, you guys have to come up with what that cryptic tweet means in terms of the Bills. What does that mean? How do you get the tea leaves to bring in that JJ Watt's coming to Buffalo? Like, what the hell? What does that mean?
I have no idea. Again, I don't think it means he's signing with the Bills.
Bring it back up again. Okay.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's very true. So maybe he's saying he wants to be the mitochondria of the cell. So he's not the nucleus, but he's the mitochondria. So he might not be the most important guy, but he's the next most important guy in that cell.
Who brings the energy to a team? Not the
biggest star, but the next biggest star. Yeah, he wants to bring the energy.
The energy to the team.
There you go.
The cell is the team. The mitochondria is Sean McDermott. The energy.
So what he's saying is that he's paying homage to his new head coach.
Yeah.
Right.
And Beans the nucleus.
Beans the nucleus.
Yeah, hey, okay. And then if you get JJ Watt on this defensive line, they're now a cell wall.
Oh, you just dropped that.
Right.
That's
Anthony's turn.
Eric, that's prime, dude. I love that. Anthony, can you top that or no? I mean, that's pretty damn good.
That was pretty good. I like the explanation. Yeah, I mean, I still think he wants to be the mitochondria. He's saying the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's what he wants to be, is the guy bringing the energy, who can be the difference maker. He's not part of the nucleus because he's going to a new team. That nucleus is in place in Buffalo. You've got Trey White. You've got guys on that defense. You got Jerry Hughes. He doesn't need to be the guy anymore. He's not the nucleus. He's the guy coming in, bringing the energy, supplementing, giving them guys even more energy, making them even stronger than they were before. I love it. I think, I've been off the JJ Watt train. I haven't been one of the guys clamoring, yes, let's do this. Let's sign JJ Watt. But, it might make sense if they can bring him in at the right price. He is the kind of guy who will do exactly that. bring the energy up for everybody on that team.
Yeah, he'll bring the energy up, but will he come to the Bills and be the best defensive lineman on the team?
No.
Yeah, instantly.
You think so?
Yeah, instantly.
No, and I'll tell you why. The only reason I say
you
no
why
is because he's going to be double teamed every single time. So Jerry Hughes and everybody else on that line.
Defensive lineman at Oliver.
Ed Oliver's going to have a hell of a year next to J.J. Watt.
I mean, this is old age J.J. Watt. I mean, you're still going to get impact plays. He's still going to make everyone a better around him. But, I mean, when's the last time he's finished a full season?
You sound like JJ is always injured, and that's not true. I don't know where you got that from. And this is a man who had 10 sacks last year, playing 90% of the snaps on a trash defense. You put him in Buffalo, okay, he's going to play 60% of the snaps. You're going to elongate his career another 2-3 years, right? And he's with people who can ball out. So, you're going to have Star plug in the middle now, right? That's going to free up Edmonds. Right, and then you're going to have Ed Oliver. I expect Ed Oliver to have a breakout year now that he's going to be playing his natural position. So that's going to help, right?
He has no choice. He has to have a break.
I'm not saying don't sign him. I'm just saying, will he be?
I think he will.
The J.J. Watt that we think we're going to get, or is he going to be a different kind?
Hey, Mario Williams.
Production-wise.
This was the same age when Mario Williams came to the Bills. He was the same age. Had 3 productive
years. 32.
Really?
Yeah,
and it's wow. We gave him $100 million at this age. That. Wow,
yeah. So I'm just saying he's got some football ahead of him.
And still, I think with a guy like J.J. Watt, you don't need him or necessarily want him to be the guy who's stuffing the stat sheet. What he does best is make everybody else better just by being there because he has to get attention. And if he's getting attention, then Jerry Hughes is running free on somebody one-on-one, And if he's getting attention, then Ed Oliver is going to have more chances to get to the quarterback because those guys are going to shift in the direction of J.J. Watt, right? So I don't care if he signs with the Bills. I don't care if he has no sacks. The other guys are going to have a heyday because he's there. But he has to – the biggest thing is he has to be on the field. He has to play snap.
For sure.
He's got to stay healthy.
I think
you're no good on the sideline making a sandwich, getting praise from the announcers, right? Like that's not going to do it anymore.
That's coming.
Hey, check this out. Oxygen and ATP for energy in the cell. As for J.J. Watt, maybe J.J. Watt is the powerhouse of the team on the defensive end. I think that's what he means.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell he means, but I think
I love this science reference. I'm in the zone. I hacked J.J. Watt's account and tweeted this, actually. I want
exclusive.
It's great. Yeah.
No, dude. I mean, listen, everybody's on pins and needles, man. Like, J.J. Watt likes wings. Like, he eats chicken and blue cheese. Like, calm down. I don't know if y'all heard on Joe Miller was on with Joe Marino today.
Yeah, I did listen to that episode. Yeah.
And I need to talk to him about this, but Joe Miller was talking about he had a source or somebody told him that it was an 80% chance that JJ signs with the Bills, and I'm like, wow, like, okay, cool. Like, I ain't gonna get too excited.
I'll take 80. Shit.
I'll take that. We know he's not going to the Bears.
No.
That's for damn sure.
Well, if you're J.J. Watt, you're looking around. I mean, he wants a ring, right? Is that one of the stipulations? He wants to win games. I'm sure he's tired of losing.
Yeah,
right?
He doesn't want to. Yeah.
But look around the league. There's Kansas City. Tampa's full, right? You're not getting into Tampa. He's probably going to get, $10 million a year or so, give or take.
More than that.
Some.
I mean,
more than that,
they say his market is around 15 to 17 million.
Oh.
That's what they say.
Okay,
now he may take a discount.
He can't afford that. Yeah. So.
But there is Indianapolis can afford that. They have a ton of cap space, right?
Sure. But are they ready to go there? They got a new quarterback that's not proven.
Right.
The rumor was the 3 things he was looking for. One of them was a good quarterback, right? A solid quarterback. You're not getting that in Chicago. You're not getting that in Indy. Kansas City and Buffalo right there. Sure.
Right,
yeah.
Just saying some team will offer more money. And do you turn down money at the
million?
I'm here if you're J.J. Watt to try to win, and that's really what we're looking at. If it's 80% chance in Buffalo, you got to assume he's taking somewhat of a pay cut.
I like Donnie Brooks'
lower end of the market value. I would say
give him 3 years, $30 million, $20 million guaranteed, something like that. Why not? And then backload it if you can, right? You'd have to give him a big signing bonus now to prevent it from. Or however you work it so that it's only $5 million cap hit this year and 15 the next 2 years or something.
Hey, my guy Brian. Brian, where you been, dog? Where have you been? All right, Brian is in the house.
Vacation a little bit.
Hoof that like, peeps. Yeah, y'all need to make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Listen to my man Brian. That man brings great wisdom. Where you been, man? We missed you around here. I know everybody's kind of off-season mode, but we still here, baby. We still here kicking it hard. We got Donnie Brook. You brought up this comment, but Bill, thank you for watching the show, man. You're new here, and yeah, I think I don't know what JJ is gonna want to take. I mean, that's kind of up in the air, but I think he's at a place in his career, and just from outside looking at, he's made enough money.
We were talking about
money. Why? I don't think he needs to break the bank.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the Cover One chat, and one of the things that I brought up was last year at this time, if you remember, the Buffalo Bills were in the market for a certain guy who had just become a free agent that was getting maybe some other interest. Certainly not the name of J.J. Watt, but his name was Josh Norman. And at the time, we were like, great, 1 year deal, $6 million. And it sounded good on paper. Oh, $6 million. Yeah, all right, 1 year. Yeah, perfect, great, good deal, bring him in. But then what happened? As the market went on through free agency, there were cornerbacks signing for $3 million and $2 million, and the Bills looked stupid for signing Josh Norman to a $6 million deal because they pulled the trigger early before the market really set itself. And this whole offseason is going to be interesting when it comes to free agency because every team is in a cap situation at this point. There's like 3 teams that have money, and the rest of the league is trying to find a way to make it work, which really means you might not be able to afford the teams who are competitive that J.J. Watt wants to sign with that are contenders for a Super Bowl aren't going to have the money necessarily to sign him to a break the bank type of deal. In this case, something like 3 years, $30 million. Yeah. That's still a huge commitment. Those teams, including the Bills, are still going to have to make significant moves to allow that to happen and fit in their budget. So I don't want the Bills to do something crazy and sign J.J. Watt to a deal that doesn't fit the market this offseason. And we won't know that, obviously, if he chooses to sign way before the free agency period opens.
I don't think that'll be I mean, Brandon Beane has been great with the cap. Like, he's shown no.
Right.
I mean, I didn't like.
But that was one place where he got burned. He definitely got burned on Josh Norman. At the end, by the time the preseason last year. Yeah, it made him look stupid. You spent $6 million on a free agent cornerback when everybody else was paying $2-3 million for guys. I mean, if you had waited, you probably would have got him for cheaper.
Hindsight's 2020.
Exactly.
It is 20. Yeah,
he filled the position. I didn't have the greatest year, but it wasn't the worst year either. Right.
Hey, did you guys hear Aaron Jones is interested in the Dolphins? Yeah.
Is he interested in the Dolphins or is he interested in Miami?
No.
He's interested in that money.
I was just about to say, Miami is one of those teams that has cap space, and he's a running back. Where's he going to go? Nobody pays running backs in the NFL.
Pay him whatever he wants. Blank check, just $30 million a year if you want to. I would love to see y'all do that. Yeah. That would be awesome. That would be. I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but why are you gonna do that? I mean, why are you gonna do that? I mean, it depends on what you're gonna. I mean, if you get him for a bargain, hell yeah. I mean, Aaron Jones is great, but he's 26 years old. He's still got a few years left in the tank, man. I think he's got about 3 or 4 solid years.
But he's not stupid. He's a free agent, and he knows what team has the money. That's all. He's like, and you might need a running back, so why not sign me? Hi guys, yeah, right. Give him what he wants. $10 to $20 million a year, please. No,
I think Miami would be challenging for him. No Aaron Rodgers, right? So everyone's focused on you. And Green Bay had the best offensive line in the league last year.
But again, I don't think he cares.
3 at least.
He's not thinking about his production. He's thinking about his paycheck.
It's gonna be a
he doesn't care if he gets 100 yards next year. He doesn't care. Yeah.
Okay, so there. I want to take like a couple minutes on this. Okay, I was thinking about this, but Russell Wilson reportedly is not happy in Seattle. All right, America's choir boy, 3rd round pick, NC State. Well, Wisconsin, then later Wisconsin. But apparently he's not happy in Seattle, and I don't blame him. I mean, the dude ain't had no offensive line. The running backs or whatever. I'm not a fan of Chris Carson. He's a free agent. You just now are starting to get him weapons on the outside. I mean, like, what are we doing now? Russ did take a big contract, and that does limit what they can do as far as acquiring talent. Their draft picks have not been anything substantial or great, really. I mean, DK Metcalf, obviously, you're not going to miss on that. But other than that, I mean, so he's not happy. And they're, it's a rumor that it's 3 first-round picks to get a guy like Russell Wilson off the books of Seattle. So if you are the Dolphins or one of these teams that need a quarterback, if it just takes 3 first-round picks, I mean, Russell Wilson, I'll take that. What are you guys' thoughts on that? And then I got a sit-start bench for you.
I don't understand this, why he's not happy. I mean, Seattle's been in the playoffs every year, right? I mean, have they missed the playoffs in the last 5 years? Like, what more do you want? I mean,
out in the first round, how many times? So, yeah.
Okay, you could be better on the offensive line. I get it. But, I mean, always have a solid defense. You've won the division a ton of times. I mean, the grass is not always greener in the NFL. It could be a lot harder when you go to a place like Miami, who hasn't won in how long? Ownership matters, coaching matters, right? And you have a great head coach in Pete Carroll. The ownership cares about winning in Seattle. I say careful what you wish for.
Well,
you might want to fix the title and say Sierra's not happy in Seattle.
That might be it, right? Because the first thing I would do if I'm Seattle and Russell Wilson walks in and says I'm not happy, be like, you know what? You're so right. We can do better. Why don't you give us $5 million of your money back so that we don't have to pay you $30 million and we'll give it to a guard or a tackle for you? Huh? And if he says no, then say, guess what? You're the problem, dude. I got nothing for you. We're paying you $30 million. We need linemen. You want offensive linemen. You want people. You got to help us out too. Rework your deal. Make it $20 million. We'll invest $10 million in whatever position on the offensive line you want, and then start from there. Because, I mean, you want to make him happy, but right now Seattle has all the leverage and Russell Wilson has none. I don't care. You're not happy? Too bad. You're playing for us. You're our starting quarterback. We want you, and you're getting $30 million a year. So smile and play the football. That's what you got to do. But, I mean, in the end, I think he's got no leverage, really. And if they were going to trade him 3 first-round picks, I mean, he's Russell Wilson. He's top 5 QB right now, maybe. And if he had a better offensive line, could he do better? Sure. But the grass isn't always greener, kind of as Eric was saying. Where are you going to go? To a team that doesn't have DK Metcalf? To a team that doesn't have another reliable receiver that you've had for years, that you have chemistry with? It's not always better. And I think, if anything, as Eric kind of alluded to as well, this might be I want to be in a bigger market where I'm a bigger star, in New York or in, one of the bigger cities than Seattle. So I don't know. It's all smoke to me. In the beginning of 2021, Russell Wilson will be playing for the Seattle Seahawks, regardless of what happens. If nothing happens, if he works this deal, if they sign different offensive linemen, he's still going to be in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. But, he's earned that contract. I mean, I ain't going to hate on him for taking that money.
But if he really wants out,
but that's the point. How many times do we say you have 5 years with a rookie quarterback to win the Super Bowl, and then you start struggling because you sacrifice something on the other team when you have to pay your quarterback $30 to $40 million. It's a good thing to have to pay your quarterback $30 to $40 million because he's that good and you have that guy. But it means that you're going to have to deal with drafting and filling needs slowly. They chose DK Metcalf over an offensive lineman, let's say, right? Or, the guys they've drafted their problem has been they haven't been that great. They haven't worked out. Their picks haven't worked out, which isn't great for your scouting group and all of that. But, you got a weapon like DK Metcalf. That's check number 1. Okay, this year, hopefully they can build the offensive line. Hopefully you can, because Chris Carson is a free agent, hopefully you can find a running back, maybe in the draft even, that will, be able to be your number 1 guy and take control there. And they're not that far away from being the NFC, the leader in the NFC.
Right, and we could be too far into this because, if Seattle simply just, drafted an offensive lineman in the first round instead of who's that bust that they drafted a few years ago in the first round, running back? He's not even in the league anymore.
Rashard Penny.
Rashard Penny. Yeah. I mean, we all thought he was going to be a good player, but not first-round talent, right? If they would just focus on offensive line, so maybe it's just that Russell Wilson's pulling a card here to say, quit screwing around with the draft and get some good players.
And I don't even look, man. They trade. You got Jamal Adams. You sent 2 firsts for that. Well, why? I just don't understand why. It just doesn't.
One of the best safeties in the league, no doubt about it. But still, when we talk about positional value, it's not the highest position.
Right. I think
right.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that acquisition if you're one player away and if defense is your biggest problem. I think we all knew even last year that Seattle's biggest problem was their offensive line. Right. And they still didn't immediately address that, and they chose to invest that capital on defense. So I don't know. It's their approach more than anything. So I get why he's frustrated. But you can only do so much, so we'll see. All
right, so real quick, sit, start, bench. So we got Watson, Wilson, Allen. Who are we sitting? Who are we starting? And who are we benching?
Oh, I feel some bias coming on.
Just for one game, or what's the situation here? For a season,
look.
You got all 3.
It doesn't sit, start, bench. I ain't saying no season or one game. Sit, start,
is sit bench worse than bench? I don't know. Is bench worse than sit?
Yeah, what's sit and bench?
or not sit, right? Okay, so we're gonna start.
One's a backup, right?
Cut. We'll say cut.
That's right. Cut.
Cut, start, bench.
Cut, start, bench. Cut, start, bench. Who's your starter?
I gotta go Josh Allen, and I don't think it's my bias saying that. I think it's watching football in 2020. I would go Josh Allen, and then I'd have I'd probably cut Russell Wilson, and then my backup. Yeah, so I'd go in that order. So I'd have to.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to push the bias down
based on their age and their production level. Josh Allen is the number one of those 3, without a doubt. He is younger, and he played a better. Now Russell Wilson, you could argue
of those 3 quarterbacks, in my opinion, Deshaun Watson's better.
Not based on 2020. What football were you watching? Josh Allen was better than Deshaun Watson.
Okay, listen.
Josh Allen had a great year.
Josh Allen had a fantastic year.
I was going to go Wilson, number 1.
Oh, I think Deshaun Watson.
Not based on youth. That's why I can't pick Russell Wilson if I have the other 2 available. I'm taking the other 2.
Deshaun Watson had Wegmans employees playing all on his team, and his coaching staff was clowns. So,
there's no doubt he'll be better in 2021 if he ends up somewhere else. Yeah.
But before DK Metcalf, that's what Russell Wilson had, and he still won with that.
What are you trying to say?
I'll take Russell Wilson.
But he's north of 30 already.
No,
he's north of 30.
Multiple good seasons, right?
I don't want to see
MVP caliber seasons, didn't win it, but Josh Allen, talking.
Funny, we all picked.
He had one great.
That's why.
Season. Look,
Josh Allen's the only QB on that list who's gotten better every year. I mean, come on, we made this argument all year, all last offseason, all the year before, and now all of a sudden you're going south on Josh Allen. He's the only QB of those 3 to get better every single year. Okay. He's the only QB on that list whose stats have gotten better every single year. He's the only QB on that list who has an argument that he could be better next year than he was this year.
We're off-season mode. Anthony's getting ready.
Josh Allen, come on. You 2 are crazy. I think even if you ask ESPN this question, they'd say that.
No, they wouldn't.
It's not putting Josh Allen south or whatever you say.
It's not bashing Josh.
No.
It's not.
Russell Wilson's a top 3 quarterback. Josh Allen right now is top 5.
I say Allen's 6.
Watson for me is under Allen, but
no, I look, Watson's done it longer than Allen. He's had more production. So in my opinion, Watson's right now, we're talking right now, not Watson is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. And that's not a knock on either one of them. Not a knock on Russell Wilson. It's not a knock on Josh Allen.
I mean, these are 3 great quardurbacks, but still the answer is Josh Allen.
Of course, I mean, the guy wearing the Bill suit, of course you're going to say Josh Allen.
Dude, I'm going based off, again, who's the quarterback who has shown that he gets better nonstop, that he's doing better when you put things around him? Okay, no matter what roster it is, if you put one of these QBs on Russell Wilson's roster with Seattle, I'd still pick Josh Allen.
Bro, but Watson didn't have to do all that getting better shit. He was already good, and he's gotten better since he's been in the league.
But he's still not.
Like, let's not pretend like Allen came in on the same level as the other quarterbacks that are drafted. Allen came in on a very
Clemson's a lot different than Wyoming,
And he's still
Josh
Allen has no ceiling. Remember that. Remember,
I'm not putting a cap on the ceiling. Y'all know I love Josh Allen. All I'm saying is, right now, Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback than Josh Allen, and it's
okay. Based on what? On what season?
Oh my God, Anthony, I love you to death. Look, check this out.
You'd rather have Watson on this team than Josh Allen right now?
I would not.
No.
Okay, then what are you saying?
No. You can't. That's two. You're putting in a box. Watson is a better quarterback right now. I love Josh Allen for what he does, for what and who he is.
So what does Watson do better than Allen? Please explain.
There's not a better fit. Watson process is better. I think he's more accurate. I think he processed the game better. He does. I think he's more poised under pressure than Josh Allen is, and he has the pedigree. I mean, this is a guy who won the national championship. He's been under pressure moments. Yeah, but look at his NFL career.
You can't compare them in college. That's not a fair.
No, you can, because they both suited up in college. See, that's what I hate about when people say, "Well, you can't."
And Wyoming, the Mountain West.
Whose fault is that?
ACC.
So why didn't Josh Allen get a shot at Clemson? Because he wasn't good enough.
No, his high school was too small.
Oh my God!
He's good enough.
He was not good enough. Josh was not good enough. He was not good enough.
I don't think he got scouted enough. It does, yeah.
We're not about to make excuses for Josh Allen.
So next year, when Josh Allen's the MVP, you both are going to remember this conversation. Deshaun Watson is better than Josh Allen. Oh
my God!
Russell Wilson is better than Josh. I'd take Russell Wilson over Josh Allen. You are both
right now
absolutely dead wrong. Dead wrong.
Dead
wrong. Josh Allen is better than both of them.
Okay. It's a debate. It's definitely a debate. Somebody asked, where do I get these questions? I mean, I just sit up and just think about this shit.
Staring at your ceiling.
I'm telling you, he's nuts. I don't know. Sterling's off his rocker on this one. Randy's right.
Randy, you
Sterling
my
put his clown shoes on.
Randy, you my guy. You ain't supposed to be dogging me like that. Dogging me like that.
Hitting the truth. That's all.
That's okay.
I feel like Josh Allen fumbled in Madden or something. You had to bring this up. Like Josh Allen sucks.
Let me tell
you,
y'all.
Lost me a game in Madden. It's over.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm on a Madden protest right now. A PS4 protest. You know how many times I put that damn PS5 in a cart online and I don't freaking get it? Too many.
Still haven't gotten it? Oh,
hell no, crazy. Dude! I got people in the Madden league like, bro,
where you at?
Where you at? Like, I mean, you know how many Super Bowls I've missed out on because I can't get a damn PS5? Too many damn Super Bowls, man. So yeah, I'm on a protest. I got my PS4. I won't even touch it. It just sits there. I won't even touch it. It is what it is. I'm a little hurt. I'm a little butt hurt right now. But Sony did say that they're gonna send more out, but I don't believe it. Whatever, dude. That was the look. Oh my gosh. What we got going on in the chat here, dude? You are desperate for an argument? No, I'm just we're just chatting. That's all it is. Ain't nobody trying to argue, man. It just we just have fun. That's all it is. All right, so the reason why I brought you guys here tonight is positional value chart based on the Bills' needs this offseason. I think this is a thing that does it vary year to year. You know, I think the Bills, we've been kind of going through this with our Making the Case series. You know, we did the offense and we're wrapping that up and we're going to start on the defense. But and that's from a free agency draft perspective and so forth. But if you were Brandon Beane, that's my question, you guys. If you were Brandon Beane, what is your positional value chart based on the needs this offseason? So do you value, is it offensive line, wide receiver, you know, D line, or you know, or is it, you know, tight end or running back or whatever? What is it for you guys? And we'll start with you, Eric, and we'll end with you, Anthony.
What do you want to go through every position? Top three?
Give me top
2 to 3. Yeah, like three positions right now.
Top 3.
Wait, let me preface before you go. Is this like based on the Bills roster and free agents right now?
Right now.
Based on the holes we have right now.
Right now.
Holes, needs.
Right
okay.
Yeah, so based on the offseason needs.
So I'm not going to say quarterback because if we were going
right. We're not
starting
talking
my
about
own team. I would go quarterback.
Right. We're talking about based on the Bills' needs in this coming season.
This is tough because they haven't really re-signed everybody I think they're going to re-sign yet.
Right.
But
so
I
based
think
right now,
as it is right now, you've got to fill that right tackle slot. And that's number 1 for me. I think with what you have on defense, you can operate, right? Even with Matt Milano out, AJ Klein can hold it down, and we can get in the draft and get somebody developed and mix it up, right? So I go right tackle or right guard right there, number one. Number two, it's got to be that linebacker, Matt Milano position. Yeah, obviously, I don't have to get into too many details. There's a hole because Matt Milano is leaving, right? So huge hole in the defense as far as knowledge, coverage skills. That's going to be tough to fill.
Okay.
So that's the top two, and then I will go edge. I mean, we talked a lot about Trent Murphy, and he was inactive a ton this season, but you got to get somebody to share reps with AJ Epinesa. I don't know if he's an every down guy. I think he's more of a mix it up guy, to be honest.
So that's where I would disagree with you then. There are plenty of needs that we could fill and fix on this team, but based on the roster right now, offensive line has to be priority number one. We have no guards and no right tackle. So you're doing something to get that offensive line going. So it definitely, that's the one with two asterisks next to it, if you will. That's definitely A number one, A number two, and A number three at this point. But so offensive line being priority number one, I would also go linebacker at priority number two. And for all the same reasons that Eric said, Matt Milano is super important to this defense. He knew this defense, and if he stays, that's great. But right now he's a free agent. So that is a huge hole to fill. Even if Klein becomes a starter, you need somebody behind him because we don't really have a third linebacker. Unless you're, Deion Lacey or something like that. No, we have nobody. We need to get somebody in there who can play. So that for me would be priority number two, and it's still a big priority. I might draft that in the first round if I think I can get the second round guy, a guard or something in the second round that I really like. The third for me is tight end. And that, again, is because of the bodies on the roster. You got Dawson Knox and a bunch of crickets. There's nobody else on the roster. You've got Dawson Knox and Gilliam, who's really a fullback that they call a tight end. So I really think tight end, granted, I'm biased. That's the episode I did for our Making the Case. But I think tight end has to be that number three for me.
Okay. So we're definitely going offensive line. So I would definitely agree with the first one, offensive line for sure. I think offensive line, and I would probably say more guard. I think because, if you look at the offseason, what's available to you, I think you can re-sign Darrell Williams. Okay, so he's going to be your right tackle. I don't know what the market is going to be for Feliciano, but I think you could probably, and I've been saying this, you could do better than John Feliciano. Okay, I don't care if he has a mean streak. I don't care. But you could do better than John Feliciano. You probably need to restructure Mitch Morse. Okay, let's knock that cap number down. Let's shore that up. But if you want to look at positional value in terms of where the draft is strong, I think you can get good linemen in the second and third rounds. That's where your depth's going to be. You're not going to get that top end talent at the end of round one. So you can kind of use round one if you want to take a little splash. So my second position would probably be I'm going to say defensive end on this, just because if you get JJ Watt, that changes. But from a draft perspective, but defensive end, the Bills. I get so tired of hearing PFF and the pressures. I can give two shits about pressures. Sack the damn quarterback. I don't care if you're there. Sack him. Why are we doing this with Jerry Hughes? I'm a big fan of Jerry Hughes, but if you're not getting to the quarterback, then they pay you to be a defensive end that makes a difference sacking the quarterback.
I think
Mario is not getting Jerry Hughes. Every time he sacks the quarterback, he gets a penalty. So he just said,
that's true.
He
they
said,
throw a flag at him.
I'm just going to scare the quarterback.
I love Jerry Hughes.
And it works.
I think the other problem why I didn't have defensive end or edge in my top three is because we're looking at the roster right now. And although we all wholeheartedly expect there to be change with guys like Mario Addison, Vernon Butler, and Quentin Jefferson, right now, that's not a position of need on this team as much as, say, tight end or offensive line where there's really no depth, right? So we have our guys. You could theoretically walk into next year with these same guys. I don't think any Bills fan would be happy with that because they lack the production. Granted, we have Starr coming back, as far as we know anyway, for next season. So that could be a huge boost as well. So that's why I didn't have it in those top priorities for me this season.
And the scary thing about this draft, if you're going to look at an edge defender, like you don't know what you're going to like. When I hear defensive end, I think, oh shit, Aaron Maben. Does that like bring chills to your spine? Like,
yes.
Like I've been doing some film on Azeez Ojulari. Like he pops off the screen, but man, I'm concerned about his size. Like, he's 6'2", 240 pounds. Like, is he big enough? There's guys like Elvis Dumerville that made a living being shorter. I mean, Elvis Dumerville was like 5'10", but guys like that. But does he have? Can he? Keep offensive linemen off his body by using great hand technique, and then, there's so many intriguing prospects. Gregory Rosso, he was a little slow coming on, and then he kind of got better as the year went on. Man, as a end of the first round, do I want to take, if I'm Brandon Beane, like, do I want to take a risk on a guy like what I'm saying is I need more of a sure first round selection
right
at the end of round one. And I don't think you can really get that, right? But
the good part is you're not picking at 8 or whatever it was that we picked Aaron Maben at, right? Like it's not as high of a pick, so you can afford to take a little more risk.
I just got to say though, Aaron, that's just bad GMing. I don't,
Yes,
right.
That
guy
was
who doesn't even play. I mean,
bad evaluation, bad scouting. Yeah, I mean it was not a good fit at all, especially in that top range. Down at 30, you have a lot more flexibility to say, oh, this kid's still available. He has the talent. He has the ability. I'll take a flyer on him and let's see if he fits. But it's a first round pick. You want that guy to hit. You need that guy to hit to take your team to the next level. So it'll be interesting to see which direction we go. But you still think one of those guys you mentioned is worth picking at 30?
That's what I don't know, man. I like Gregory Rosso intrigues me, right? I like him as a prospect. I'm going to stay away from Jalen Phillips. I like Jason Owe can be somebody that is pretty intriguing. So I mean, and Carlos Basham Jr., like that guy is a freaking animal. But I think it might be one of those things where we might just have to take kind of just go for it. Because I mean, defensive ends don't grow on trees, right? And we were talking about guys like who was the guy again who got traded to Ngakoue, Yannick Ngakoue.
Oh, Yannick Ngakoue. Yeah.
Guys like that taken in the third round, right? And that those are anomalies. Those aren't the norm. But I think I'm bringing that up just to say, like, the Bills may need to just go for it. I mean, you took Epinesa second round last year. How long do you think Jerry Hughes is going to play? Even if you do sign a JJ Watt, how long? I mean, that's so you need somebody that you can groom and just pray that you can hit on him, right?
Well, I mean, that same argument can be made for offensive line as well.
I think there's more sure picks at offensive line than defensive line.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's the strength of the draft.
The draft is stacked with offensive linemen. There's going to be a ton of tackles going in the first round. I think I had like 6 or 7.
Ooh.
But I had Alex Leatherwood, I think, is a good pick at 30. Somebody who could play tackle or guard. He has that versatility.
At 30? You take Alex Leatherwood at 30?
That's in that range. I mean, I don't usually make my own rankings. I take everybody else's and kind of play with them. But a lot of people, some people do have him as a late first round projection. Some people are early second. But, I mean, you look just his versatility and playing 4 years at Bama. I mean, that's something I think that Brandon Beane will like.
Yeah. No, I like Dylan Raduns or give me
but North Dakota State, I mean,
hey, just because he played at a small school doesn't mean he could play.
I get that, right? But Division II, that's a little different story. I mean,
yeah, but the guy, he's a beast. That dude is a beast. He's not gonna have any issues at the next level. Solid feet, great. He can handle double moves. He's got great hands. He's got good. Point of attack with. He's good. Dylan Raduns is good. I mean, at 30, I don't know if they're going to take him at 30, but I think he's definitely day 2 for sure he's coming off the board second round. He's definitely coming off the board second round.
Yeah.
And then you have your
he's up there too.
You have your interior offensive lineman, man. There's some good guys, like Creed Humphrey. I'm really sold on Creed Humphrey, Wyatt Davis. I mean, there's some guys here that I think it's a more sure thing you're getting, and it's way cheaper. So you wouldn't have and we're talking about in terms of the Bills, you wouldn't have to spend money on a guy. You can get a right tackle. You can get one of those tackles. You don't have to pay Darrell Williams.
Yeah, I think that's the most exciting thing about this draft, right? For me, anyway, is the free agency period is going to tell us exactly who the Bills are drafting in the early rounds. And for me, because of what you just said, I'm still advocating for trade out of this first round and rack up some second round picks and trade up back into the second round. Get 3 second round picks this year because you can get 3 starters in the second round, starter level players, like you just said, a guard, a tackle, and a linebacker. Boom, there you go, all in the second round. Third round, you get your tight end, and we're strolling if we end up signing a guy like J.J. Watt, for example. Because if J.J. Watt comes in, that presumably locks up some of your D-line problems. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see. Always free agency sets up what they do in the draft. Always, obviously, because you have holes to fill. What you don't fill in free agency, you need to fill in the draft. But this year especially, I feel like there's talent to be had in that second round. And if you can pick if you know what your needs are and you know the guys you like and you don't need to pick them at that spot, trade down and see who's still there in the second round.
Yeah. And I think, we're talking about off-ball linebacker. Your best bet is probably to put a rookie there rather than, and have him kind of platoon with Klein. Mm-hmm. I mean, we play nickel defense exclusively. So I'm not, and somebody mentioned in the chat, Levante David, he's not coming here.
It'd be a great signing, but it's not great. Yeah.
But he's not coming here. And what are you doing long term? I mean, I think, now you have to keep in focus, okay, you want JJ Watt, you're gonna have to make sacrifices. If you want, if you want to sign your right tackle, Darrell Williams, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices here. It's gonna come down to how well do you prepare? Is your scouting department any good? Can you find value? And that's the next chapter in this Bills building process in terms of this roster. Is you gotta find value, and that's gonna be the determining factor if you win a Super Bowl. That's it right there. Josh Allen, we know has the ability to get you there, but it's going to be, what are you going to do to supplement that offense? Not just offensive line, but at skill positions. Can we get a number 2 corner that has some speed that can cover somebody one-on-one, man-to-man? Like I'm tired of, kind of keeping Levi Wallace and kind of like masking his inefficiencies as a DB. Right. A solid defensive back, but I mean, we need somebody that's outside of Trey White that's going to be able to put their hands on somebody and really handle them. And so as far as the linebackers go, your best bet is probably, like I said, you're probably going to have to go in the draft. I mean, look, Nick Bolton, Jabril Cox are some guys that I like. Cameron McGrone is another guy from Michigan. I know I'm a Michigan fan.
Nick Bolton is a Mike.
What's that?
He's primarily a Mike linebacker.
Mm-hmm,
right. But again, the Bills are playing nickel. So you got, I mean, those 2 linebackers, I mean, it doesn't
linebackers.
Doesn't really
outside guy.
How old is Nick Bolton? So let's say the Bills take Nick Bolton. He comes in and he's got to talk to Tremaine Edmonds, who is younger than him. Isn't that crazy? It's just crazy as 3 years starting experience.
That is pretty funny. Yeah.
And he's younger than the guy you just drafted. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then
like Jabril Cox, though. You mentioned Jabril Cox.
Cox is coverage for that guy. He's solid. Man. He's solid. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I love that guy.
That's another one that's been mocked to the Bills a lot. I'm getting excited here.
You talk about range, sideline ability with Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, if you put that man on the field with Tremaine Edmonds, you easily have the most athletic linebacking core in the league. There is hands down. Yeah. You should be able to cover some damn tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Should be.
And
there is no tight ends in the AFC East.
I wanted to address this point from Reptile.
Miami got one.
Quality, not quantity. The rebuild days are over. Yes, but in this case, because of the COVID-stricken year, the first round talent is not. There's no the players are not definitely in these places. There is no definite top 10 players because so many players opted out. So many players didn't have the time or opportunity to show what they could do, to show their improvement from their junior year to the senior year or whatever it may be, their second year to the third year, and now they're entering the draft. There is going to be way more quality in the second to fourth round than ever before because they just didn't have the opportunity to figure out where these guys fit. So that's why I'm saying you can get 3 positions of need, 3 starters. Yes, they're not like the top 10 most, amazing person in the draft maybe, but they fill the need that this team has, and they certainly will do well on this team. So that's why, I'm all for give me 3 second-round picks and trade whatever you need to do to make it happen.
So, and I want to address this really quick. Where is it? Oh, okay. Randy Hartman. Yeah, I've done some work on Jamin Davis. He's solid. I think he's 6'4", 220 or something like that, 224 pounds out of Kentucky.
Yep.
The guy can fly, and he has a knack for causing turnovers. I think he sifts through the trash very well. I think he's shown a knack to get tackles for loss in the backfield, and he's very instinctual. He could cover guys for sure. He would be great, and he's a will linebacker, like I said, and he would fit perfectly in a 4-3 defense for the Bills. I like him. I think he's an underrated prospect for sure. For sure, he pops out on film. Now, he's in SEC, but he plays at Kentucky. Who the hell is really watching Kentucky, right? So and they're not all that good, right? They're okay. But there's other teams in the SEC that take up all the out. But Jamin Davis is a pretty solid.
This is where you rely on your scouting, and McBean has done a great job of this in the past, right? They've had some excellent drafts and found some amazing talent on teams. Even if you go with Josh Allen, right? They saw what Josh Allen could be, and they brought him in and made him that. So with some of these linebackers or other players, even any position of need really this year, you're right that they could go that route and say, hey, there's a guy in the 5th round who's projected to be a 5th, 6th rounder that we love. And that's going to be where we pick our linebacker of the future. Milano was a 5th round pick, right? And so you can't rely on that necessarily. But if you're comfortable with Klein and Edmonds, then maybe you're like, this guy is somebody we really like. We really think we can develop. We trust our scouting of him, and we've watched him grow, and that's our guy. In the 5th round, then that gives you the opportunity to draft offensive linemen earlier who you might like. Same thing. It could be an offensive lineman later and a linebacker early. So you really trust your scouting in a year like this. And it just adds to the excitement even more going into the next season. Yeah.
And somebody mentioned Ifitu Melifonwu. I think he's long, rangy, a corner, 6'2" guy. I would love to see that element being brought to the secondary. But again, I think you can get those guys. That's probably a second, third round pick. Then you got guys like Hamza Nasser-Rudin, that I just did. Hey, y'all already know I love
him for a while. Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting. I think I think we'll come up with our predictions on what the offseason is going to look like the week before free agency, like who the Bills are going to sign and then who are they going to draft. We're going to do our mock drafts and all that stuff as we continue on. But right now, I'm just watching guys and kind of, I think I'm going to do my own big board this year. This is going to be my first year I actually do a big board.
There you go.
Okay? We should probably all collaborate and do a big board together. But because that'll be interesting, right? So now that I have a little bit more of a foundation going to school and stuff, I think, it's time to okay, let's do a big board and see what we come up with. But there's so many things that the Bills could do. We just don't know. We don't know what they're thinking. And that's kind of what keeps us up at night right now, because we have no freaking idea what Bean is thinking, what he feels the needs are. We see it from outside perspective. Right. What does he think the needs are? So it's interesting. Lastly, Milano. We know Milano's gone, but where is he going to play? I know we focus a lot on, okay, Milano's leaving, the Bills aren't re-signing him. But who you guys think is going to sign him? And I don't mean it like ain't nobody going to sign him. Like, who's going to pay that man? Like, he's getting paid.
Really good
but who's
question.
going to do it?
Ooh, that is a really good question. As I kind of said earlier, there's limited teams with money to spend at this point. And I think it really is going to depend on what Milano wants. Does he want to stay with a competitive team, or does he want to just get the most bang for his buck? Because he can go to Jacksonville. I think that would be a great fit for him. Yeah. Jacksonville, he brings that team up. They can pay him whatever they want. You want $50 million guaranteed? Here you go, $50 million guaranteed, and they can pay him because they have, I think, the highest cap space available currently. And that defense has already got young talent. You've heard me rave that I think they have the most young talent that just needs to be molded. Granted, their head coach isn't off to a good start, but we haven't even talked about that. But anyway, I just think that defense has the talent where a guy like Milano coming in could bring them to the next level. Hey, I'm the veteran who has experience. Let me bring your talent level up the same way he did with the Bills. That's no matter what you think of Milano. When Milano played, the whole Buffalo Bills defense played better. And I think he could bring that aspect. That's his best market value thing right now. It doesn't matter that I can't play 16 games. When I'm on the field, the team plays better, period. That's number one thing if I'm his agent that I'm selling him on. You want this guy on your team because he makes everybody around him better. And when you have the potential that a team like Jacksonville has, that's a big leap for all those guys. They have a lot of potential on that team. But other than that, I mean, he could go, I don't know if he wants to go to a contender, maybe Cleveland. They have cap space, but do they really need a linebacker like him? I don't know. Those are the two teams that come to mind.
And what is cap space? What is a value for an off-ball linebacker? Like, you should not be paying off-ball linebackers like all that money, right? Like, so
somebody's desperate though.
Somebody's going to, like somebody mentioned the Raiders. The Raiders could definitely use somebody like Milano. Damn, the Patriots. Oh God, no. Oh my God. Ooh.
Who said the Patriots? Get out of here, Lone Wolf.
Yeah, he did us dirty on
that.
Get
out of here with that New England garbage. He would never, even if they did offer him $50 million, he'd be like, hey, Bill Belichick, forget you.
Yeah.
Shit, no, he would. I mean, give me the money. Hell yeah. Milano, he fits New England. He's too pretty. He's pretty.
I think he could fit a lot of places. I mean,
he could.
Denver's a place he could fit in well with the defense.
Absolutely.
Atlanta comes to mind. Philadelphia comes to mind. But again, cap issues. He's going to be a high-paid player. I think I last saw he's projected to get like $16 million a year, and I remember we were talking like $13 million like during the season. So, I mean, somebody will. If he's going for straight money, he might get 17, 18 million just because. He's got a lot of good film.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Player.
He is a good player. Again, he's off-ball linebacker, so I don't know what are you gonna pay him?
In the market, it's yet to be seen. Like I said, how free agency is going to play out. Maybe he tests the waters, and teams only offer him 12, 13 million, and he says, "Well, shit, for that, I'll go back to Buffalo for 10." And then sticks with our team. He did also say
I don't think he
would be willing to give a hometown discount to stay with the Bills. So
but what is a hometown discount? A lot of guys say that, right?
Well, that's why I said
it could be like
if his open market value is 12 or 13, then I could see him taking 10 to stay with Buffalo, and I wouldn't mind that. I would take him for 10.
I think Bean kicked him out the door.
It did sound like that at the press conference.
That's
because he said the same thing.
When he says he's earned the right to test free agency, he ain't coming back. Exactly. We heard that with Jordan Phillips. He ain't coming back.
That is code for.
That's like
he wants to get paid.
It's a very nice way to put it, though.
When you're talking to a girl, it's me, not you.
Yeah.
And he's well aware. He's been having conversations with his agent all year long. So he probably already knew at that moment, look, he's asking for way more than we're ever going to offer him. So toodles, you're out of here.
Yeah. He gone.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting, man.
It hurts though, because I love Milano.
I know you love him. I told y'all it's coming to an end. I told y'all before this last season, we were still in I told y'all it was coming to an end.
Well, you brought up something, Sterling, that I think is relevant to the conversation that this coming week, I believe, next week, is the franchise tag.
Today, I think you could start. I think you can start that today.
Yeah,
so. Yeah, listen. The scary part about franchise tags, I don't know what the tag number is on that position.
15 million.
15
million at linebacker.
Yes.
Tag and trade them. Look, man. That's a gamble. That would be a risk. That would be a big time risk. That would be a big time risk.
Can you franchise tag him and then trade him for 15 million? That's the other question. Get some more draft capital just by using the franchise tag. But again, this is a year where teams might be more tight with both their draft value and their money and say,
Bills don't have the luxury to do it.
If we don't guarantee that he can get an extension, granted that team would be able to extend him if they trade for him. So, that is a thought for Brandon Beane. He's definitely thinking about it. If nothing else, hey, we could franchise tag this guy and then trade him for whatever we can get for draft capital, second or third rounder, whatever it may be.
I'll take my chance on a rookie. Cheaper, maybe a better athlete. You can mold him how you want to mold him. I trust Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier. They're going to make. I'm going that route 100%.
I do not think they will franchise tag and keep him. I don't think that's an option at 15 million.
No, they're not going to franchise tag him. But it's just fun to speculate. Just
right.
Shit out there.
It's fun to think, though. They could.
They could, but they won't. Right? They could. Yeah. They could for sure. And I'm sure people are like, why are you guys saying that? Like, people get all butthurt about people's opinions. Like, dude, chill. Like, this is just chill the hell out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never want to come after people on Twitter because they have a different opinion than I do.
Right.
Like, we're all wrong. It's okay.
And the franchise tag, it's interesting to see how many guys in the NFL will get franchise tag this year. Is that less than usual because of the tight cap space now? Because the franchise tag comes with a guaranteed number. I think it's the average of the top, 5 or 10 players at the position. So it's a high number for the position. You're paying for quality to keep that talent. I think wide receiver is
easy solution for the team.
Yeah, right.
Here's where I think guys like Milano are going to have a hard time, because there's going to be the free agent market is going to be saturated with so much talent, right? At a lot of positions. There's going to be, I mean, if you look in the NBA, you're seeing the formation. We've been seeing the formation of super teams, right? It hasn't really. Well, the Yankees been doing it for decades, kind of putting these super teams together.
In the last 20 years, that's why they haven't won anything.
Right. But all it takes is the right situation. I think you're going to see a lot of guys take really cheap deals just to compete for 1 year, prove their worth, and it makes you way more attractive and appealing if you're a winning team, and then bank in on free agency the following year.
Say, in comparison to Major League Baseball, that I think is accurate in a year like this, is Major League Baseball implemented a salary cap of sorts by doing the luxury tax, and that has changed things. But in the last 2 or 3 years of free agency, in baseball, money is guaranteed, right? So you sign the contract, you get every dollar of it. When free agents period has opened the last 3 years since they've made it friendlier for players, it's been very quiet free agency up until maybe the last week or two before the season starts. Not even preseason when they're warming up and spring training. It's right before the season starts. Guys, top free agents are getting signed with teams because teams have just waited. Oh, you want that much? Well, let's see if you can get it. No. Okay, you sign at the last minute. And I'm thinking that this could be the case with football this year, that we could go all the way into August with some top free agents still out there and say, all right, they got to sign somewhere. These guys are available. Right. Where are they going to go?
Waiting for an injury.
Yes, right. And waiting for a team to step up, just like happened with what's his name, who signed with Tennessee for much less than the $20 million he was asking for originally as a free agent last year.
Logan Ryan.
Jadeveon Clowney is who.
Jadeveon Clowney. Okay, yeah.
Right. So he wanted $25 million, then it was $20 million. He ended up signing for what, $8 million, I think it was. And that's because he waited too long and nothing opened up. The market didn't open up for him. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if NFL free agency historically is fast and furious, right? Literally within the first few hours, guys are signing and there's all sorts of stuff going on and released and talking and rumors. But yeah, I think that with COVID, it could severely slow things down, that we could see a flash of maybe the top 5 players or whatever getting signed. And then all the other guys, as you said, Sterling, are going to sit on that market and wait it out and see what happens. Yeah. It could be a long off season of that.
It'll be an off season we've never seen before. Yeah. So anybody's opinion could be totally right because we've never seen it. I don't know how teams are going to manipulate the cap this year. But I know come March 1st that you got to be under the cap, right? Yeah. So going into the new league year, you have to be under the cap. So we're gonna see. But it definitely brings some interesting things for our little Bills discussions moving forward. But we'll end here tonight, fellas. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the Hoof Live podcast. Man, it's been a pleasure kicking it with all of you guys. And we're out of here.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.